Hello, how are you guys? Welcome to another episode of the Wow Podcast. And today, we're not going to take too long. I just want to introduce you to a very special guest that I have today. Her name is Christy, and she happens to be family. I have her here as a special guest because let me tell you a little bit about her. She's a choreographer. How cool is that? She has a background in dancing, has done it for her whole life, has participated in many talent shows and meets knows a lot of people who are in the industry. Very, very talented girl, and I have the pleasure to having her here today, and we're gonna get to know her a little bit better. So without further ado, hi Christy, how are you?
Hello, darling.
How's it going?
It's so good. I'm
Thank
so
you.
happy to be here.
Thank you for being I asked you last minute if you wanted to
So last
join.
minute,
Yeah,
I was so surprised.
you're good.
Me? I was very excited.
So Christy, I mean, you recently moved to Florida from a very busy environment. I mean, you were literally in New York doing this.
Your city, baby.
I know. So tell me how this transition has been, because just to give people some background on you,
Yeah.
you literally are a full-time mom now.
I'm
So
a full-time mom. I love it so much. Totally different space for me. Obviously you told your viewers I am a dancer choreographer. That's been my dream, my life since forever. I spent my 20s just so driven and so focused on turning a hobby, which was dancing, into a lightning bolt type of career, and I did it all. I spent a lot of time auditioning,
wow.
hearing a lot of no's, and all of those, "No, thank you so much. No, thank you." That just changed something in me, and I was like, I don't wanna beg for these jobs anymore. I wanna be the one that does the hire. Like, I was more intrigued about the business side, so I kind of let go of that idea of the starving, hopeful dancer. "Yes, yes, I'll do anything," and, as I got so tired of that mentality, and I was just like, "I wanna sit, on the other side of things," and I
Yeah.
wanted to create, and I spent a lot of time teaching. I love teaching,
Yeah.
but, I started a business a little bit before COVID, like 2017, I started a business,
Yeah.
and, I hate saying that the business failed, but I did decide to close the business down once COVID hit.
Your
The
wake-up call?
COVID was the easiest excuse to let the business go. I knew deep down it was time to leave for, like, personal reasons, but, like, COVID was the perfect timing to be like, "We're ending things because of COVID," but it was so much more of a personal reason. But, that quote unquote "failure" put me into position of where I am now, which is a mom and a fiance. I'm so excited to be a wife.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it's amazing. It's been a weird transition, but a very happy one. It's very fulfilling in a different way.
So, can you tell us a little bit, because I know a lot of aspiring girls that are going like they aspire to be dancers, and they go to all these dance schools, and you grew up in that environment,
Yes, I do.
right? So how is it for you now that you kind of stepped out from doing it? But you still teach, you know?
I do. So right now, I'm kind of doing things more on my own time. So one of my favorite things to do, like I said, is teaching. I like teaching the younger. Honestly, my favorite thing to do is teach the levels that they think they can't dance. Like I was trying to tell you, let's get all the wow girls and do a because the thing is, dance can be so intimidating and so like nerve wracking. But I like to let people know, like there is rhythm in you. Everyone has it, you just gotta find it.
Yeah.
And I pat myself on the back because I do. Most people that I do teach, I turn them out. They can pick up choreography.
That's awesome. So
Yeah.
you are used to, not only you lived it being like a girl, learning all these new techniques and
Mhm.
all these different, I don't know how you call them, genre,
Yeah, all
right?
different styles.
Yeah,
Yes.
styles.
Yeah.
And But then now being a mom,
Mhm.
kinda like seeing the other side of it being teaching these things, what do you think you can tell that little girl that is probably looking up to you?
Oh, well, listen, my favorite advice that I always tell my students is don't tell yourself no, let everyone else do it.
Mhm.
You know, you're always your biggest enemy, especially when you're teaching dance, you're always in front of a mirror, so you're always just like, "Oh my god, everyone's looking at me, everyone." No one is looking at you.
Mhm.
You kinda have to get out of your own head, and the biggest thing that I've taught myself is just I'm not gonna tell myself no. So in my mind, before I enter the room or before I do anything, I already did it. I already have it. I think you have to mentally get there before anything else, and then if it's not for me, I let everyone else talk me out of it, but don't talk yourself out of stuff.
Okay.
Leave that up to everyone else.
Yeah. Well, that's a very nice advice. I'm sure a lot of girls probably feel like you said intimidated or they feel like they're not good enough. So, you've been doing it for so long. You had your business. Well, tell us a little bit about your business. How was that?
So oh man, the business was bigger than what I thought I was ready for. Like
Mm.
I didn't start the business by myself. I was in a relationship at the time and he was very much involved in the industry that I was in, and it was just so easy for us to come together and start this business. I had such high hopes and dreams for it, but I was scared and I didn't know how big we can take it. My partner just really, really had a huge vision, and it took me a while to get into that same headspace with his. So, yes, I was a dancer, but we had a dance convention, which was basically we would rent out hotel ballrooms and get all of the dance studios to basically bring their students to this convention. And we would host a 2-day convention. We would hire, you know, 5 to 6 choreographers for the weekend, and all of these students would pay a tuition and basically get like a 2-day dance camp
Oh,
that
that's
we would
awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was truly, truly my dream business, and for what it's worth, in my eyes, it was extremely successful. I don't think I spent enough time in it to really, really see the potential that it could have reached, but it did show me the potential that I had. And
Which is
like
amazing.
yeah, yeah. I mean, listen, you anything you step into, even if you think you're failing, if you learned a shit ton from it, it's worth it. And I learned so much about myself. There's nothing that you can't do. And if you're not doing it, it's because you're choosing not
Not
to
to do
do it.
it. Right.
So,
What a great piece of knowledge that is.
yeah, and not for nothing, but, like, for any woman that's in business that might be talking themselves out of, "I don't wanna get married, I don't wanna have kids, it's gonna take away from my" if you can run a business, you eventually pour that into your family,
Uh-huh.
and you run the same way you run a business like a tight ship, you manage your family the same way.
Mm.
I wish there was more I wish there were more people advocating for women in business to really take all of those experience and pour into a family. I'm very, very passionate about the role of a wife and the role of a mother. I think
Mhm.
it's such a sensitive subject because I feel like, especially in this generation right now, everything is all about women's empowerment, go women, and we can do it all, and screw men. I can't jump on that boat because
Mhm.
I don't live my life that way. There is so much that I look for in my man, and I know that he looks for the same thing in me. And there's something that's happening where I feel like that's getting lost, and it's so
You mean in society?
in society. Look, I'm going to tell you something. I don't know if this is going to be like a controversial thing, but I'll say it. All of my friends that are single and wanting to be in relationships and they can't find the right guy, they all have that women's empowerment and we're awesome and we can do it all and I don't need a man. That mentality I think is what's keeping them single. All of my friends that are this might even be another controversial word, but all of my other friends that are submissive to their men, to their husbands, They all have houses and they're all taken care of and they have families and they're living this life that I think is really special and really sweet. And something is getting confused where that's not praised enough. So I will praise my man and I will praise the role that I play in my house because I run shit.
Mhm.
And I think that's really where women, you know, step up to the plate. A men can't run a house the way a woman can.
Mhm.
But that doesn't mean that we can't run business and run a house at the same time. I'm waiting for that moment to come back. Like right now, my babies are still little. They're 1.5 and 2.5. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, this 5 years is just strictly for my babies. But there's a big piece in me that's like, as
Uh-huh.
soon as them babies are in school, I am ready to jump back into
Right, because that's
business.
the entrepreneur in you.
Yes, and I gotta tell you something, when you find the right guy, now I know I'm in the right space because all Christopher wants to do is make his business successful so he can pour into mine, and
Mhm.
he knows that that time is coming, but we're both in agreeance right now that, like, I'm exactly where I need to be, but that doesn't mean that my time is up.
Right. And it is very important because a lot of people associate, including me sometimes, that having a family and having a partner equals your
That's it.
yeah,
Yeah.
like that's it. Okay, I can't do business. And that's not true.
So not true.
And it's very refreshing to hear someone so young saying that, I been to so many self-growth seminars.
I love that
And
about you, by the way. Thank you. I am so jealous that you went to Tony Robbins. Oh my, it's how good. Next door, girl, don't feel me because I would love that.
but one of the very thing, like, I did a seminar last year called Date with Destiny, and a lot of people think Date with Destiny, oh, I'm gonna find a man there, and it's not that. Uh, it's more like date with you with your destiny, right? And one of the days, because it was a 6-day seminar,
Oh wow.
one of the days they were talking about couples. It was couples night
Mhm.
or couples day.
Yeah.
And it's so important that you said something about your friends being submissive and how you notice a difference between your friends who are business ladies or boss ladies
Yes.
and your friends who are,
Just vibes.
right. And it's
Mhm.
such a big difference.
Mhm.
Um, I fall into the other side, like the boss lady, but now I feel like me personally, I'm doing a little bit of a transition to the other side. And it's very scary for me because all I do is think about, breathe in, from the moment I open my eyes to the moment I close them, it's
Mhm.
all about my business.
Yeah.
And I met my boyfriend at one of these seminars, not
Love that for you. Just because 'cause we're family, like, truly, I love seeing you so happy with a man.
thank you.
Love it. Love that for you.
And we're doing great. And one of the things that I learned from these places is that your time, your life is only so long, right? And
Mm.
one day, as much as I love my business, one day I may look back and be like, okay, now I'm ready for my personal life. But where did my time go? And then that's where I will find myself, hopefully not, but most likely, or someone in my situation, alone,
Mhm.
always feeling lonely. I mean, like,
It's
they don't
easy to be. It's Listen, let me tell you something. All of these If you even look at Hollywood, all of these celebrities, you see them, they get married. How many of our favorite celebrities do we see just recycling through marriages and marriages and marriages? The problem is those celebrities, they're run by other people. They're not allowed to be themselves or to go on their own schedule or to think their own ideas. They're constantly pushed by an agenda or a message that is being pushed by the media, it almost feels like, right? And that's what brings me to that conversation I was saying before. Like, there's not as much loud voices advocating the simple shit, which is serving your family clean food and, allowing your just being more in control of your children and of your families, leaving it less up to the schools and less up to just society to raise them. I want to be the one front and center for all of that stuff. And as your cousin and as a close friend to you, the biggest thing I want to tell you is don't let the success of your business make you feel like you can't be successful at home. There's such a nice balance and you can do both. And we can talk about this off air, but if this man is bringing you to that space where you're kind of like learning that balance, it's a wonderful thing.
Oh, yeah, no, it
Won
definitely is something that we talk about all the time.
Yeah, and he's into business too, right? So you
Yeah,
both have that entrepreneur. That's the best thing.
yeah, yeah,
That's the best thing. I love when you have that. M Business like-minded people are hard to find.
they are.
I will say. Like, I remember when I was in my business, I had a lot of friends, but their mentalities just weren't on the same page as me, and I think you and I need to spend more time together. I think we have a lot more in common than we probably give ourselves credit for, but, like,
Mhm.
it's so, so awesome what you're doing, and
Thank
I've
you.
since day 1, like, I've been, just watching everything you do, and
Thank
it's
you.
incredible.
Well, same admiration I have for you because now you don't have your business anymore, but it was like so badass, to see all these flyers and all those people, all this, videos of the people and
The
the
funny
hotel.
thing is to hear you saying that because the reality of that is I was dying. Like, it looked so cool on the outside, the
Yes.
stress and the
No,
struggle
it is.
going on
It's
underneath
very
is
stressful.
real.
To own a business is very stressful. How do you
Absolutely.
feel emotionally wise now that you're home, that you don't have that big pressure on you to deliver because now you have a family?
Oh, well, Kara, listen, the first thing that comes to mind, it's Christopher. It's my fiance. Christopher makes me feel just perfect. I used to feel like a lot of the pressure was on me. A lot of the weight was on me, bills, finances, just everything always felt on my shoulders. Since I've been with this man, my stresses feel lighter. My life feels lighter. Chris's ultimate job, and he does this willingly, is just to make sure that my life is comfortable. That all
So
he wants me
awesome.
to worry about is our babies.
That is so awesome to hear,
Yeah.
and it's so refreshing to hear that even though you're not active with your business, you're still running a very successful,
Yes. Yes. And I'm
household.
telling you, girl, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I pray a lot that God will just put me in line with the opportunities that are meant for me. Like, it's funny that you asked me to do this because I'm like, I want to be on a podcast. I don't know for what. I don't know. Who cares to hear what I have to say? But it's so freaking crazy that when I'm praying for these things,
Wow. Well,
you know.
I really
So
like our
thank you for letting me be here.
Of course, I really like the course of our conversation. But I did get some feedback that my podcasts are a little bit too long. So I think
20 minutes, darling. 20 minutes. I think is all the people have mentalities for.
so. I would love to have you as a guest again because I think we can
Mm.
talk about so
Yes, I
much.
would love this.
And then today was kind of like weird. We
No, this was just like, let's pop in and see how I feel. And I gotta tell you, I feel great. So
Awesome. We'll do
awesome.
this again. So let's plan again so you
Yes,
can come in and be
I would love.
one of our guests again
Yeah.
in our podcast. And for now, thank you so much for sharing some
Thank
of
you so
your
much. Thank you.
stories. And
Thank
I
you.
would love to have you back. Thank you for being inspiration as well.
Anytime.
All right.
Thank
All
you.
right, guys. Thank you for your time. And if you want to have Christy back, just comment here. What would you like to hear from her? Let's
An awesome book.
yeah.
Follow me. Follow me.
Yeah, we're gonna tag you, okay? Anyways, guys, thank you so much for being such awesome.
To like,
Yeah,
subscribe,
there you go.
come in for a nail appointment. My sortie nails look good. Up, check us out. Come check her out.
Alrighty, guys, thank you. Have a good one. Bye.